So imagine walking into the world's largest library.
Okay.
For decades, you had to learn the Dewey Decimal System. You had to memorize the nuances of the card catalog.
Right. Spending hours just physically wandering the stack.
Yeah, exactly. Just to find like 5 books that might actually answer your
Yeah.
question because you were doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, you were doing the search.
Right. But, you walk into this library today on August 2, 2026, and the architecture of that library is fundamentally altered. I mean, the card catalog has been entirely ripped out.
Completely gone.
Yeah. And in its place stands this brilliantly efficient, slightly intimidating executive assistant.
I like that analogy.
Right. So you ask a question, and they don't point you to an aisle anymore. They instantly read the 5 best books, they synthesize the core arguments, and they hand you a personalized, perfectly formatted answer on a silver platter.
Which is, I mean, it's incredibly convenient for you as the person asking the question.
Oh, totally.
But consider the perspective of the authors of those books, the website owners. The anxiety out there right now is just palpable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because you're no longer trying to get a human to pull your book off the shelf based on like an intriguing spine or a catchy title.
Right, the game has changed.
You have to convince that hyper-intelligent executive assistant that your material is literally the only source worth citing in their synthesis.
And that really is the core challenge we are tackling on this deep dive.
Absolutely.
So your mission, as we unpack this massive SEO daily technology report from today, August 2, 2026, is to figure out how to survive and, realistically, how to thrive in a search landscape that has been entirely revolutionized by AI.
Yeah, it's about adaptation.
Exactly. So grab a coffee, because we are looking at the new tools, the new protocols, and the literal mechanical reality of what it takes to get your website seen when machines are doing all the reading.
There's a lot to cover.
It is. And I want to jump right in with a piece of data from this report that honestly made me physically recoil.
The click-through rates.
Yes. Organic click-through rates on top traditional Google results have plummeted by an estimated 34%.
34%.
34%. I mean, if I'm a business owner relying on organic search, I am looking at that number and assuming the traditional website is just dead.
Well, sure, that's the knee-jerk reaction.
Right, because Google's AI overviews are now the default for most informational queries. And with Google AI mode rolling out, this deep conversational interface, I have to push back a bit on the prevailing optimism in this report.
Go for it.
Look, if a third of the traffic is just gone, aren't we basically just watching the slow death of organic search?
So the panic is totally understandable. But looking solely at the click-through percentage ignores the denominator of that equation.
Okay, what do you mean?
We are undergoing a massive paradigm shift in user behavior. Yes, the percentage of people clicking on traditional blue links is down 34%.
Right.
However, total search volume is surging.
Wait, really? People are searching more?
Way more. Because users are no longer typing fragmented keywords, right? They aren't typing best running shoes 2026.
Yeah.
They are feeding the search engine complex multi-part, highly specific prompts. They know the underlying vector databases and, the multi-step reasoning capabilities of these models can handle it.
So they're asking entire paragraphs.
Exactly. So your percentage of clicks has dropped, sure, but the raw volume of impressions, the sheer number of queries happening in your vertical has expanded massively. The pie itself is just significantly larger now.
So that implies the goalposts haven't just moved. We are in an entirely different stadium. The objective isn't ranking #1 on a static list anymore.
Not at all.
The objective is earning that cited-in AI status.
And that is the absolute crux of the August 2, 2026 landscape. If you appear as a primary citation in those Google AI overviews or within an AI mode response, you are capturing a user with incredibly high commercial intent.
Right, because the AI has already vetted you.
Exactly. But on the flip side, websites that fail to transition their architecture for these generative answers, they are the ones experiencing those catastrophic 34% traffic drops.
Wow.
It's a completely binary environment now. You either adapt to the parsing mechanisms of large language models, or you just become invisible to the user.
Which introduces the obvious friction point, right?
Yeah.
How do you mechanically get cited?
Right.
Because you can't just, stuff a page with keywords anymore, or buy 100 cheap backlinks.
No, the AI assistant at the library parses semantic meaning. It's not just string matching.
And that brings us to GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization.
Yes. the buzzword of the year.
Exactly. And the cornerstone of GEO in this August 2026 report is a standard that has just exploded in adoption,
Yeah.
the llms.txt file.
This is huge.
I really want to spend some time here
Hmm.
because everyone knows robots.txt,
Sure.
but that's like a bouncer at the door, right?
Yeah.
Telling standard crawlers which rooms they're allowed to enter.
Yeah, robots.txt is purely restrictive. It dictates access. The llms.txt standard is entirely different. It is directive and it's structural. It's a file you place in your root directory, specifically designed for the web crawlers deployed by OpenAI, Perplexity, Anthropic, Google.
So it's literally talking directly to the box.
Exactly. Instead of just saying, you can come in here, this file actively guides the language model on how to ingest and contextualize your domain's information.
How does it do that?
It uses a very specific markdown structure. It provides the AI with a clean, noise-free summary of your site's architecture. It points directly to your high-density informational pages, your API documentation, core product specs.
Oh, wow. So you were basically handing that executive assistant a customized, machine-readable cheat sheet for your brand.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
And the report notes that between 5 and 15% of major websites have already implemented this standard as of today.
Yeah, that adoption curve is just staggering.
It is. I mean, if you are sitting there without an llms.txt file, you are essentially forcing the AI to guess what matters on your site.
Right, they're parsing through your messy CSS and DOM structures.
Exactly, while your competitor's just handing them a pristine data feed.
Which puts you at a massive computational disadvantage. And here's the thing. The formatting requirements extend beyond that root file, all the way down to the page level.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Well, the data shows that large language models exhibit this severe bias toward comprehensive, highly structured data. So the most effective GEO strategy for, say, a product page right now is consolidating what it is, who uses it, how to choose, and pricing all into a single URL.
Wait, I have to stop you there.
Okay.
Because that contradicts like a decade of conversion rate optimization and UX best practices.
Yeah, I know.
Cramming a massive comprehensive guide, pricing tables, and user personas onto a single page. That is a total nightmare for human readability.
It is.
Are we seriously supposed to ruin the human experience, like overwhelm the actual buyer just to appease the formatting preferences of a language model?
It creates a fascinating tension for UX designers, that's for sure. But the solution we are seeing the top performers use today is dynamic rendering and incredibly clever front-end design.
Okay, so hiding things.
Basically, you maintain that deep, comprehensive text and the schema in the HTML payload for the AI crawler. But you use accordion modules, sticky navigation, and progressive disclosure for the human user.
I get it. So the bot sees the text wall, the human sees a clean interface.
Exactly. You are serving two masters simultaneously, the machine that needs total context and the human who needs visual simplicity.
Serving two masters. Man, that ties perfectly into how EET, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness has mutated.
Oh, EET is completely different now.
Right. We used to treat EAT as this squishy, qualitative set of guidelines for human raters. But this report confirms that in 2026, EEAT is a hard algorithmic ranking signal.
Very hard, especially for YMYL, your money or your life topics.
Yes. So how does that actually work mechanically?
Well, the models require a mathematical basis for trust now. When an AI overview formulates, say, a medical or financial answer, it calculates trust through entity reconciliation.
Entity reconciliation.
Yeah. It looks at your brand footprint across the entire web. Are you cited in mainstream press? Do verifiable experts mention your entity in academic papers or industry forums?
Right.
Is there authentic social proof tied to your digital footprint? The models basically construct a massive knowledge graph of your authority.
Meaning SEO and PR have completely collided.
100%. They're the same thing now?
Because you cannot fake topical authority with a niche affiliate site and a private blog network anymore.
Not a chance. The AI sees right through that.
So if you want to rank in 2026, you have to do actual public relations. You have to build real-world brand authority because the machine is cross-referencing your very existence against the entire internet.
Right. The websites showing the most resilience to algorithm updates today are simply the ones acting like genuine real-world authorities.
Which brings up a massive operational problem.
Tracking.
Exactly, tracking. If the strategy is this hybrid of highly technical llms.txt formatting and broad brand-building PR, how do we actually track the results?
It's the multi-million-dollar question.
Right. My old rank tracker showing me at position 3 for best CRM software is totally useless if the user is getting an AI overview that doesn't even trigger a traditional blue link impression.
Yeah, those legacy metrics are basically vanity metrics at this point.
So the legacy tools had to evolve or die. Let's dig into how Semrush and Arvifs are solving this, because they took wildly different approaches in this report.
They really did. Semrush took the path of, I'd call it, platform consolidation.
Right, with Semrush One.
Yeah, Semrush One. At $199 a month, they realized the traditional dashboard was obsolete, so they built native AI visibility tracking directly into the core product.
So you aren't just tracking Google SRPs anymore.
No, you are monitoring up to 50 specific prompts natively across ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Google AI mode.
But the tracking is really only half the battle, right? They also deployed Semrush Copilot.
Yes, which is fascinating.
Because instead of forcing you to, like, export CSVs and run pivot tables to find out why your traffic dropped, the Copilot uses generative AI to interpret the data streams naturally.
Right, it does the heavy lifting.
It operates like a senior analyst just tapping you on the shoulder to say, hey, your brand sentiment in Perplexity citations for this product category just shifted negative because of a recent software bug.
It interprets the why behind the data. That shift from data presentation to natural language interpretation is crucial.
Now, Arifs approached this from a fundamentally different, highly technical angle, didn't they?
They did. Iris remains the absolute gold standard for raw backlink data. I mean, they're crawling top domains every 15 to 30 minutes.
Right.
But their major 2026 initiative is the deployment of an MCP server, a model context protocol server.
I really want to break down MCP because I feel like this is where the underlying mechanics of AI get super interesting for marketers.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Because large language models like Claude or ChatGPT, they're static brains, right?
Yeah.
Their training data has a cutoff date.
Yes.
But Arifs has this live, constantly updating SQL database of the entire internet. So the MCP server acts as this secure standardized bridge between the two.
Precisely. It solves the latency problem.
So
By establishing an MCP connection, you are giving an AI assistant secure API access to basically interrogate RF's live data architecture.
okay, so give me an example of how I'd use that.
So you open Claude and you prompt it. You say, analyze my competitors' link velocity over the last 72 hours, identify any new digital PR campaigns they launched, and write a counter strategy.
Wow.
Right. Claude uses the MCP to query RFs, it pulls the live JSON data, synthesizes the findings, and it puts a complete strategy in seconds. It bridges that gap between static reasoning and live web data.
That is wild. And Arifs also launched Latido, right, for $99 a month.
Yes, Latido is their dedicated platform for building custom AI agents on top of all that data.
But, as powerful as those giants are, they are expensive and they're complex. And the report details this massive shadow ecosystem of niche, agile tools that sprang up specifically because tracking personalized generative AI outputs is computationally very difficult.
It's incredibly difficult.
So how do these smaller trackers actually measure a citation when an AI generates a totally unique response for every single user?
It requires a really clever engineering workaround. Tools in this new category of AI visibility tracking, they utilize parallel LLM querying at scale.
Parallel querying.
Yeah, they deploy headless browsers, which are essentially invisible web browsers operated entirely by code.
Okay.
And they use these to simulate hundreds of varied user profiles, locations, and search histories. They continuously prompt the AI engines and then aggregate the responses to determine your citation frequency.
That's so smart.
And crucially, they determine the semantic context of those citations.
Which perfectly explains the pricing models we are seeing in the report. Like Otterly AI is the entry-level player at $29 a month.
Right. They are doing basic high-frequency pinging across ChatGPT and Perplexity to just give you raw citation counts. It's a volume play.
Exactly. But contrast that with Kimi, the premium European challenger. They're priced at 149 euros a month.
Yes, because Kimi isn't just counting citations. They are running deep semantic sentiment analysis on the output.
Right. They analyze the actual adjectives the AI uses when describing your brand versus a competitor. Like, are you positioned as the budget option or the premium enterprise solution?
And that level of contextual tracking requires significantly more processing power, hence the premium price tag.
Makes total sense. And then sitting right in the middle, you have Peekaboo AI at $50 a month, offering bi-daily updates. So if you are executing a GEO strategy, Having one of these trackers is really no longer optional.
No, it's mandatory.
But we also have platforms trying to disrupt the legacy giants directly, don't we?
We do. Search Atlas is aggressively targeting the mid-market right now at $99 a month, or under $99 if you want the full AI tracking suite.
Right, and they're baking AI model visibility right into a very familiar interface. Plus, they offer the white label reporting that agencies desperately need to prove ROI to clients.
And proving ROI brings us directly to the content creation side of the equation.
Yes, it does.
Because we established earlier that AI demands highly structured, semantically rich content. Surfer SEO has always dominated this space with their NLP-driven content editor.
Right, they've been the standard for a while.
But their 2026 pivot to AI mention tracking is just brilliant.
This is the feature that finally closes the loop for content teams. You use Surfer's data to structure your article perfectly, you publish it, and then Surfer actively monitors the AI platforms to see if your specific phrasing or your unique data points are actually being ingested and regurgitated by ChatGPT or Perplexity.
Exactly. You can finally walk into a board meeting and literally prove that the massive guide your team spent 3 weeks writing is directly fueling the answers in Google AI overviews.
It justifies the human investment in high-quality content.
It does, because if we look at the operational reality of SEO today, in August 2026, the sheer volume of technical requirements, structuring schemas, building llms.txt files, analyzing sentiment, it's just beyond human capacity at this point.
It really is, which introduces what I think is the most disruptive element of the entire report.
The agentic era.
Yes, the agentic era of technical SEO. But before we talk about agents, we have to give a quick nod to Screaming Frog.
Oh, absolutely. The technical darling.
Right. At $290 a year, it is the bedrock crawler for technical SEOs. But, finding a technical error on a website has never actually been the hard part.
No, the hard part is convincing a stubbornly overworked development team to actually fix the error.
Exactly. You hand them a spreadsheet with 10,404 errors, and it goes straight to the bottom of their Jira backlog, never to be seen again.
Right. So Screaming Frog solved that prioritization bottleneck using AI. The software now automatically assesses the actual commercial impact of each technical finding.
Based on server logs and analytics data.
Right. Yes. It stops the friction between marketing and engineering by translating technical debt into quantified business value. It doesn't just say, fix this broken canonical tag. It says, fixing this tag will recover an estimated 4,000 monthly impressions.
That alone saves hundreds of hours of internal meetings.
Easily.
But the real mind bender here is agentic SEO, because we have moved way past using AI as just a glorified autocomplete that helps you write a meta description.
Way past that.
We are now deploying autonomous agents using platforms like Gumloop starting at $37 a month, or as we mentioned earlier, Latido from RFs.
The shift from an assistant to an agent is profound.
Walk me through that.
Well, an agent operates on a multi-step loop of reasoning and action. You don't just ask it to do one single thing, you give it an objective.
Okay, like what?
Like, you prompt the system to run a content gap analysis against 3 competitors. Then, cluster the missing topics by semantic intent. Then, generate detailed outlines for the top 10 opportunities, format them with the correct schema markup, and stage them directly in your CMS.
And the agent orchestrates that entire workflow.
Every step. It makes the API calls to your keyword tool, passes that data to a reasoning model to cluster the topics, hands the clusters to a writing model to build the briefs, and this is key. It reviews its own output for errors before pushing it live.
It operates entirely without human intervention.
Completely autonomous.
The report highlights that teams deploying these agentic workflows are seeing 3 to 5 times efficiency gains. 3 to 5 times.
Yeah, it's wild. It completely alters the economics of a digital marketing agency.
It has to, right? It forces a total reallocation of human capital. I mean, if an autonomous agent is handling the keyword clustering, the rank tracking, and the technical audits, the human marketer's role must evolve.
And this brings us full circle back to EET and digital PR, because the tedious mechanics of SEO are now automated, which frees the human team to focus exclusively on high-level strategy, creative problem-solving, and building authentic, real-world relationships.
Humans have to do the things that machines mathematically cannot fake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like securing a primetime news interview or hosting an industry conference.
So let's try to pull all these threads together for you listening. Based on the August 2, 2026 SEO Daily Technology Report, the landscape basically requires a dual approach.
Right.
Mechanically, you must speak directly to the machines. You need an llms.txt file to guide the crawlers, and you need geo-structured content that delivers comprehensive answers on a single URL, even if you have to use dynamic rendering to save the UX.
Yep.
Operationally, you need modern tracking from tools like Semrush One or niche players like Keyem to monitor generative citations. And you need autonomous agents from platforms like Gumloop doing the heavy lifting of data analysis.
That's the playbook.
And all of this is required simply to free up your human team to build the unfakeable brand authority that these AI models use as a core trust signal.
It really is a total inversion of the last 20 years of search strategy.
It is.
But, analyzing the sheer volume of automated processes in this report leaves us with a highly provocative architectural question.
What's that?
Well, think about it. We have AI agents from Gumloop or Latido doing the research, the writing, and the optimization.
Right.
They are outputting content specifically formatted via llms.txt for other AI engines like Google AI Mode or Perplexity to ingest, summarize, and cite.
It's just an endless loop of automation.
Exactly. So where does the human actually fit into this ecosystem? If an AI writes the article and another AI reads the article to summarize it for a third AI to present in an overview,
Oh, wow.
are we rapidly constructing a version of the internet where bots speak almost exclusively to other bots?
That is a staggering thought.
And in a web dominated by machine-to-machine communication, how does a human brand create genuine emotional resonance?
Man, the executive assistant at the library isn't just reading the books for you anymore. They are writing them, organizing them, and summarizing them for other assistants.
Exactly.
Well, that is definitely something to chew on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the realities of search as of today, August 2, 2026. Take a hard look at your digital architecture and ask yourself, are you building for the human, the machine, or both? We'll see you next time.